Hey, what's up guys? Rampedi here. Has anyone seen Percy Tau? I mean the Bafana one. Let's go.
That's how it goes?
They keep asking about the best when they know it's me.
Okay.
Asking about the rest when they know it's me.
Straight in, I guess.
You know it's me.
Thanks for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm looking for someone, right? Like he wears red. Like he plays for a team in Egypt. He does his thing in Egypt, wins CAF Champions Leagues. Also, he's the Inter-Club Player of the Year as well. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him when he's wearing the yellow top. I haven't seen him when he's wearing the green pants. In fact, I haven't seen him when he's wearing the white top as well. Percy Tau, where is this guy, the Lion of Judah? Because when he's playing for Al Ahly, he is one hell of a player. But when he's playing for Bafana Bafana, you're like, hey man, this guy is a shadow of himself, putting out under par performances too. And I know Peter Msumani came out and said, where's the medals? He's got the medals, he's got this. I hear you, Peter, but criticism for bad performances need to be put out as well. And I'll watch him. And I watched the game against Nigeria because I watched it on replay. I watched it again. I was thinking, this has been going on since the AFCON. This has been going on since late last year. This has been going on for a while now. And I think I finally have the answer. He's in action as we speak against Zimbabwe, right? Percy Tau is not a bad player, guys. I don't think Percy Tau is a bad player, but what I do think he must stop doing is stop being a selfish player. Yes. Because when I see it with my eyes, when I look at the front four of Bafana Bafana, when they are attacking, the one who looks out of place happens to be the one with the most medals. And why? Why is that the case? You don't always have to be the man, because when Percy Tau plays, you can see he's trying to reach for the headline. He's trying to be the hero. He's trying to wear his cape. He's trying to make Bafana Bafana talk about him. That South Africa talks about him. So he's forcing chances. He's rushing chances. He's not even making the right passes. It's not simply a player being off form. It's not simply a player that the jersey is too heavy. It's simply a guy who's playing for himself. And that, my friend, has to come to a stop. Like I said, you don't have to be the guy. Timbers One is showing that he's the guy. You just have to fit in a team. And there's nothing wrong with fitting in a team and not being the guy. But you'll be part of a team that wins. Does Percy Tau love Bafana Bafana? No doubt. I have no question about that. He comes whenever he's called up. But those days of where he was when he first came in to what he's doing right now and trying to steal all the headlines have got to come to a stop. Flex Mpumi is in the building. The award-winning journalist, the one that's at SABC. Yep, she's in the house. And I tell you what, I love this conversation because she didn't hold back when it came to Kaizer Chiefs. Award-winning journalist, part of the SABC, covers everything in sport. Everything. I saw hockey on the timeline and I was like, geez, does she ever sleep? Mpumi Manyisi, also known as Flex. Mpumi, how are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm fine. I'm good. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for having me on the show.
No, it's only a pleasure. Tell me something, because you cover everything. What is your favorite sport to cover? When I saw hockey, I was like, this is dedication. I've seen netball, I've seen Banyana Banyana, I've seen Bafana Bafana, I've seen men. Like, which one's your favorite to cover?
You'd be surprised to know that I'm a women's football writer.
Okay.
But because our industry demands of us to be open to other sporting codes, and you, in the process, you draw interest to other things, right? So I'm a full-on football writer.
Okay, so you must have been really happy when Banyana Banyana got the victory against Senegal. I think there was a draw before, but they eventually got the victory.
100%. Those were two decent games, in my opinion. Seeing that Desiree Ellis had just, I wouldn't say risked, but it was a calculated move to sort of give youngsters new faces and Banyana players who have been with Banyana for the longest time, but have been, hoping to get some game time, but they couldn't because of the first team within the first team, if you get what I'm saying. So just allowing those guys to express themselves and to showcase their talents has been a marvel to watch. Most of them, they're very young, it shows their patience, their dedication, and it shows that they've been waiting for this moment. And I like the fact that they were not just playing any other team, but they were playing Senegal, a well-groomed team.
That's good, because I wanted to ask in terms of like Banyana's future. Sometimes I get scared because you can see the likes of Anle Dlamini, for example, she's getting on. Thembi Kgatlana is getting on. I see Refilo Jan as well. I think she left her side, the Italian side, Sassuolo as well. And you sort of see these star hitters that have done so well over the years, winning the AFCON and as well as qualifying for the World Cup and going to the knockout stages. The future for Banyana, is it bright, Mpumi, as maybe one who is scared, maybe because I don't know of the other bigger stars that are coming up that are going to be like what we've seen Linda as well.
That's a very deep question, and we can unpack it with different layers. But what I can tell you now is that let's cook slowly but surely. The crisis now, and for lack of a better word, it's not a crisis. The challenge now is that most Banyana players are old players, and soon they might decide to retire and start supporting the national team on the background. And who now needs to take the baton? That's the biggest question. We have the Africa Cup of Nations that we need to defend. We've got COSAFA. We've got the 2027 Women's FIFA World Cup coming up. So the planning needs to be very specific for those particular goals. I would say, before we even speak about the future, I like how we started with the friendly games. And I like how kudos to SAFA for not being afraid and choosing a big team to test our girls. We keep it that way. And I'm not saying we shouldn't play COSAFA teams. They're holding their own even. So let's start with COSAFA and assess how the girls play at COSAFA. And most probably keep the same team that played in the two friendlies. If not, change with other few new faces to see if it works. From COSAFA, we should have an idea as to what we need to do when we head into the Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON, Women's Africa Cup of Nations. And then we get there, we defend our title with the same team. If we defend our title with the same team, then we know for sure that the future is bright to now handle the World Cup.
No, man, that's cool. I get more. I feel a little bit better when you do speak about Banyana. But the men's Bafana, I mean, they recently went to the semifinals of the AFCON. They're also doing really well under Hugo Broos as well. What have you made since the old man has come in? Is Bafana a lot more respected now that he's in charge?
Ghana, how old is he again? Is he 70?
He's in his 70s. Yeah, very old.
Yeah, he's I do stand to be corrected, but he's somewhere there. What a firm old man. I have so much respect for that guy. One, I can tell you why. I have learned as a football fan, it's in us to criticize games, guys. We're not being funny. We're not being haters or anything like that. We are passionate about the game, so much so that when things are not going our way, like it or not, we would want to voice it out. Even worse now because we have social media, so it's easy for you to rant, right? So no one was hating on Hugo Broos per se, but Bafana has been struggling for a longest time, and people want to see a solid team that had the likes of Mark Fish, the likes of
Lucas Radebe.
Lucas Luchadebe, you name them, both Dr. Kumalo and so forth, right? People wanted. We obviously don't want players that will play exactly like them, but we want players that will carry that legacy, right? He came in. I used to be one of those people who are just not aware if we are coming or going, right? And now I'm vocal like that. And people that follow me on social media, they'll tell you that I would say it, but I'm not sure what's happening with I don't know what's the game plan. I don't know if there's passion when we play for the national team, and I don't know. But you can tell in press conferences the way the guys speak, you can tell that they want to do something that's right for the nation, but something is just not adding up. Then Hugo Bros comes in. He chose a lot of guys who were mostly criticized, the likes of Sianda, Kulu, the likes of Toby Mvala. People were saying, but like we don't understand why he keeps on choosing these guys.
Yeah.
And at the time, he didn't have Temba Zwane in the squad, and people were saying he doesn't even see talent because Temba is not there.
Yeah.
But I believe when he chose his squad, he's specific about what he wants and how he wants it. So I have personally learned that allow Hugo Broos to do what he wants to do at whatever point he wants to do it. This is a very experienced man that won the Africa Cup of Nations. It means he understands he understands fully what is required to have decent football when it comes to an African perspective.
We're currently sitting above Nigeria within the World Cup qualifiers, and as well as we went to the semifinals, which we haven't done since the year 2000. 2 questions: are we gonna make it to the World Cup? Do you have confidence we'll make it to the World Cup? And the second one being, is Hugo the best coach Bafana has had in maybe the last decade?
Yo, that's a tough question. That's not an easy question to answer.
I mean, he's achieved a lot.
We've had local coaches. That's not an easy question to answer.
Are you confident we'll make it to the World Cup at least?
Yeah, okay. One, we had a decent game against Nigeria.
Yeah.
And I think what will get us to the World Cup is confidence. Confidence. Believing that we can do it. The skill is there. The attitude is there. Just being confident from the first whistle to the last, whether you're losing or not, whether you're trailing or not, you know. So the problem with Bafana is once the opposition scores, the heads are down. And it shifts. You can't take that attitude to the World Cup. It's impossible. You're not gonna go far.
Now, speaking about confidence, we have a player that when he wears the red t-shirt in Egypt, he scores goals for fun, he wins CAF Champions Leagues, he is the Inter-Club Player of the Year. But when he wears the yellow jersey for Bafana, man, you're just like, it doesn't look the same. I don't think the level of importance is the same. What do you think is going wrong, Percy Tau? Like, what would you class it as? I think a lot of people, like Hugo Broos, did say he didn't call him up the one time because of the abuse he got after the AFCON. Then obviously there was the game against Nigeria, the misses and the chances that he had. What happens to him? What do you think? Is it a confidence thing when it comes to Bafana? Because when you see him for Alakli, he's flying.
Are you guys gonna air this?
Yes, we are.
I give a to trend. No, guys, please. Well, Percy Tau, I love him. He's such a bowler. My thing is with Percy Tau, for a longest time, he had pushed the mentality of individual brilliance within the team. and it has not gone his way. And if it doesn't go his way, he gets frustrated and he withdraws.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And for me, the only thing that can work for Percy Tau is coming into the national team and have a team mentality, you know. And if you play for a team, no doubt that your individual brilliance will show up. I can make an example with Yaya Stole. He's got a team mentality, but in between that, you can see how brilliant the player is. And we're not asking for much when it comes to Percy Tau. We just want him to be a team player. More than anything, just to add, I know he loves his nation. He shows up. I've never heard excuses from Percy Tau when they say, "Hey, come play for Bafana Bafana," and he would say this and he'd say that. We're speaking about a player with a high pedigree here. His caliber is very high. His resume is skyrocketed because you look at the things that he's achieved. If he wanted to act, he would act anytime and tell us he doesn't want to play for the national team because of this and that. He would show up when he wants to show up and not show up when he doesn't want to show up. But he's been very consistent in showing up for the national team. The only thing I require of him is to be a team player.
I think that's powerful. That's a very powerful statement. I also have similar thoughts regarding that with the Gachi Crystal. Very good player. But I mean, being a team player is very important. Now we go into like the local league. I only got a few questions left. Tell me, Mpumi, like Chiefs still don't have a coach. What's going on? Maybe I mean, you're the award-winning journalist. You're the award-winning journalist. Maybe you can tell me. I mean, they haven't been without a permanent coach for 7 months, 8 months now. What's going on there?
I think these are just my personal views, ne? I'm allowed
your personal
to.
Views. What now?
No, I think they made a mistake when they let go of Gavin Hunt.
Okay.
Ne?
Yeah.
I can tell you why. Because one, they had a ban of some sort and they were not allowed to buy players at the time. And he took them to the semifinals. He got fired because he didn't get to the finals, right? And for me, had they given, because he was trying to cook something, but it was overshadowed by the fact that he didn't have the players he wanted, and they didn't have the means to get those players by virtue of the ban, right? And it hasn't been good ever since. Rumors that they're also now approaching Moegoe, and then Pizzo's also linked there. And, there's so much that needs to be done at Kaizer Chiefs. There was a point, I don't know how much time do we have. There was a point at Chiefs they wouldn't want to let go of senior players and players who have played for the team for a longest time, that they got exhausted in the process. We still had Kama Billiard, who didn't do well at Chiefs, who was the aim thing at Mamelodi Sundowns. He got to Kaizer Chiefs, he wasn't the same. And I felt like Chiefs, the Kaizer Chiefs management did not have an honest conversation about that. We had an Mpumi Manyisi who's been with the team for forever. And brilliant guy, right? And he's very experienced. And there's so much he can add onto the team. Get him to the technical side of the team and see how you groom young players or fresher players that would come with fresh legs and something different. So they were stuck a lot with players who are senior and who've been at the team for the longest time. So they needed to refresh, and they needed a coach that would be honest about that we need to refresh. They tried doing that using Atazwani. But now Atazwani is used to Bokune and them. Imagine Ata saying to Kune, hey, we don't need you Etimini anymore. You can imagine, because they're almost of same generation, almost. The gap is just not too big. So they've built that kind of friendship that he doesn't have power to say, I don't want these senior players in my squad. You know? So you need an older guy who will be firm to say, this one I don't want in the squad, this one I don't want in the squad, this one can help this way within the squad. You know what I mean? I wouldn't advise for Mangoba Mngweti to go. I think Mangoba's comfortable, and he should be at the point where he's just, working to secure his retirement. In all honesty, and he wants to do it at a highest level, at a highest peak. Not unless he wants to test himself. If he wants to test himself, he can go. But I feel like there's just many underlying issues at Kaizer Chiefs that you don't want to get there and stress yourself over things that will not change. And things like money. There are one team that refuses to pop out money for players. And if you don't want to buy players, you will not progress. Njabulo Blom left. Why? Because he said, hey, an American team is looking to buy me, and this is what they're offering. If you guys top up, I will stay and not go. And they're like, I go. Because who wants to top up for Njabulo Blom?
Now, the question I have is, you said you wouldn't advise Mangoba to go there. Would you advise Pito to go?
Yeah, you know why? I would advise Pito to go there because Pito is firm.
Yes.
Pito is firm. He holds his own, and he will tell them this is what's not going right. And there's no, I'm just making an example. Yeah. There's no Bobby or a Jessica or a Junior that will come and tell Pito what to do.
Well, the last question I have, you can answer it any way you like. I hope it's not very tough. Where is South African football for you right now? The whole thing, when you look at the picture.
But the whole thing. The league, our league. There's so much work that needs to be done when it comes to our league. One, also figuring this whole thing of buying league statuses, maybe we need different policies for that so that a team that is promoted to the top flight is a deserving team, and it's not a team that will come with issues even when it comes to paying players and that sort of stuff, and just maintaining the club as well. I think in terms of financial backing, we're struggling a lot as South Africa. And I think we need to call upon corporate South Africa to support us in that regard. Otherwise, the vision is clear. We know where we want to go as far as football is concerned. Even for women's football, financial backing, we need cup competitions for women's football so that it's not just the league, but we also have MTN 8 for women's football. We also have Nedbank Cup for women's football. And also we need to invest in school sport. The Wednesday school sports need to come back because that's where we discover our gems. And then development, a solid Bafana would not happen overnight. It starts from development. If we miss those stages, you are going to see the results when you look at the national teams.
Nah, man, absolutely love that. I want to take this time to say, Flex and Mpumi, thank you for being a guest. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for the conversation, and thank you for answering every question, even if it was hard or not or easy. This lady, I must tell you guys, I met her at there was a five-a-side tournament. I saw you the first time, and you're just so serious about your work, man. I didn't want to disturb or anything like that, but one thing I took from you is you love this thing, you're passionate about it, and you're serious about it. And we are taking notes, and we want you to just keep flourishing.
Thank you so much. I'm humbled. Thank you guys for hosting me. It was a bit rough this morning, but we made it happen. Thank you so much.
It's time for Bet of the Week. Get ready to win big by placing the right bets on the right games. The Euros kicks off this weekend and we have to get in on the action. 5 games I've selected on the bet slip. We're in. Germany against Scotland. That's the first one. Germany's going to do it. Kai Havertz, let's go in. Spain against Croatia, under 2.5 goals. They don't have strikers who can score, just possession. Italy against Albania. Italy straight win. Serbia going up against England. Yeah, England, they fluffed against Iceland, yeah, but I think they're going to come back against Serbia. They win. And Belgium take on Slovakia. I've gone with an over 1.5. The odds, 5.48. 5 times the money back. You want to get in on this action. But before you do that, click on the link below. Remember to practice responsible betting at betway.co.za. Whew, that was fun, right? I mean, where did the time go? But I have to go because Bafana Bafana is on right now. And I'm sure you want to watch it. But before you go, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're notified for future episodes.